I can confirm you are live.
Excellent.
Right. Get that cough out of the way, and I guess the next thing is for me to push the button. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the TWNR. I'm here with my co-host Killer Cans.
Hey everybody.
We're going to do some more operating sessions here on our little narrow gauge railroad. So
Indeed, we've got Betsy here with a bunch of tier 2 flat wagons, with which we are going to be presumably taking beams and lumber.
We are indeed. Killer Cans will be doing the conducting duties this evening, which of course means he is actually in control of the train. I only drive the loco. Anything I do is at his command.
Alright, just make sure again that all the handbrakes are off.
Meanwhile, I'm going to stoke up the fire. Get us a little fire temperature going. And some water temp. Just try and ignore that flickering of the ground there. We shall be going through, possibly after this video, but during Killer Can's live stream, and fixing little glitches like that.
Indeed, we've got plenty of evening on the live stream left to go, so once we've finished recording for the YouTube video, we shall be carrying on my channel.
Yep.
So all the handbrakes are now off, so when Betsy is ready, we can set off.
Give it a little power and we're away. Incidentally, while we take this rundown, we'll mention Killer Cans, of course, does have a YouTube channel where the VOD for this can be found. It's worthwhile taking a look, even if you watch this video, because of course you get to see it from the other perspective.
The other perspective being about one wagon behind you at the moment, so...
Ah, yes.
Yes, this new track layout is very new since last week. Nick has been very busy building up the freight depot area.
Yeah, I got a little bit carried away, but you can see remnants of the old layout still in existence. May leave that in just as a reminder of where we came from. I haven't decided yet.
I always like having little reminders of the first bit of track you laid down, you know?
We're in about 25-cent power now. I think anything more than that, and Betsy just hasn't got the speed anyway, so you're kind of just burning extra fuel for nothing after that.
Yep, it's all about fuel efficiency. Well, I shouldn't be using much fuel anyway because the wagons are empty at the moment.
Yep. I have actually found, through doing this run a few times off screen, that 3 logs in the fire is usually sufficient to get you up to the other end, and then 3 for coming back.
So has the track layout changed much ahead? Are we very different at the sawmill from last time? Or is it roughly the same?
No, sawmill hasn't changed. as you can see coming ahead, there is groundworks to straighten this sort of loop out, but other than that, the route here is as it was before. However, we may get an opportunity to take the left track, which that has changed significantly.
So the left-hand track is going straight on up to the logging camp, where presumably
Indeed.
we would be able to use tier 3 flat wagons to bring back cordwood.
Yep, so I think what we'll do on this run is return with our full wagons, and then, yeah, we'll take those tier 3s for a run.
Okay, those points look like they're set towards the pickup bay, so...
Yep, it's going to ease off the power now. Get a little bell action when there are other people eventually on this server, which actually we may be recruiting sooner rather than later. One thing I haven't mentioned to Killer Cans yet, but we have got the money for a second loco now.
Ooh. Go shopping later.
Indeed.
Okay, so are we going to take a mixed load, or are we going to even things out a little bit? Let's see, we've got 69 lumber.
Should and 72
and
beams.
72 beams, yeah. I think we should take a mixed load.
Yep.
And
Do you
usually, yeah, sorry. Usually it's 3 on a wagon for beams and 6 on a wagon for lumber. So we might be able to even this out a bit.
Yep. Do you want to load from the rear first or from the front?
We presumably load from the front, I guess. If we time it just right, we could load both sides actually at the same time. So if we pull back, so we've got the first wagon in line with this crane.
Okay.
About half a car. Quarter of a car. About there should do the trick.
I had a very large tree in my way, so I was totally reliant on your command then.
Okay. Let's see, I can also load a couple of wagons back here as well.
My head, so it doesn't get taken off.
Okay, and that should be 3 each for the front 2 wagons, but these ones will still need some more back here.
Yep, just standing by when you need me to move up. It's rather bizarre that they're unevenly loaded now, because when I loaded up the previous train, it was a 6:3 ratio, and the beams and lumber were identical before I started loading. I'm not sure what happened there.
It's something that we can always even out. I believe that's 6 per wagon here and here, so let's see, we want to do this one as beams. Ah, I see. Okay. Yeah, okay, let's move this one forward so we can load it up with beams.
Okay, moving
So,
forward.
1 wagon length forward, please. And half a length. And a quarter. And that should do.
There we go. Should have enough boiler pressure to do these shunting moves without adding to the fire. The thing to bear in mind, of course, is as we add fuel to the fire, it's going to raise the fire temperature, and it's also going to take our water level down. So it's getting that balance between having enough boiler pressure to run and being efficient with our water and fuel.
Right, unfortunately we're not quite perfectly aligned with our train at the cranes at the back here, so we're going to need to move forward half a car length to get this one loaded up with lumber. And then the last 3 wagons at the back here will need to take beams, and that should be our 3:1 ratio. So that should do. There we go.
Should do, brakes on. And for those watching the video from my perspective, you'll notice there is a bit of track work just ahead of the loco, and I've been using that for solo loading just as a visual aid, because of course you can't actually see the rear of the train for lining up. And you'll notice a similar one just there, about 2 car lengths further ahead. Killer cans busily loading at the rear there.
2 more lumber to load up on this wagon, and then we'll move the whole train forwards, and then it will just be beams. There you go. Okay, so we now have 51 lumber left. Doesn't look like there's any more logs in the pond. And we've still got 63 beams, so we're about to take another 9 off of those. Okay, if you would kindly move forward about 3 wagon lengths.
Okay.
And 2 lengths. And 1 length. Oh, in fact, make it another length as well. I'll load up 2 wagons at a time then. And half a length. Quarter. And stop. That might have overrun slightly.
1 second, I'll just ease off the brake. That should roll back a little bit. Oh, no, if I do that. Okay, we're definitely going to have to reverse now.
He gently does it. Quarter length. And bring it to a stop there. There we go. That's better.
Now the big question is, would you like to have the train run round, or are we going to use the full loop and exit the other end?
Ooh, do we have options?
We have options.
Well, maybe we could use the loop, and as we're passing it, we might want to unload those log wagons that are still carrying logs now that the pond is empty. I want to unload that on the way past.
Yep, I'll have to stop the train for some point switching at the other end anyway, so yeah, we can stop and get those unloaded.
Okay, we got one more wagon to load, so forward 1 wagon length please.
1 wagon length.
And a half. And a quarter. And stop there.
Or stop. That's where we will have to refuel the fire. Actually, we'll take an extra one just for luck, as we will have to stop at the far side of the loop.
And we are now fully loaded.
Okay. Releasing brakes, moving away. Actually maintained quite good boiler pressure on there. Only dropped to 104 now.
Ah.
It's still creeping down a bit whilst we get the fire up to temp. There's still some groundwork that needs fixing in these areas. But at the time I wasn't sure if the track layout was going to remain, so it wasn't a priority in the past.
It shouldn't be too bad of a problem though. I usually leave the groundwork tidying up until after I'm absolutely happy with the track and decided it's final. Otherwise you keep on digging it up and putting it down again. And okay, so it looks like this point, the first one's okay, but the second one is against you. So we stop here anyway because we were going to unload the log wagons.
Yep. Let's go for a little run. You can play dodge the logs.
Yeah. And we saw a bit of this last week as well. As at the moment the pond is absolutely empty, there's nothing in there, but as the logs roll in, we can see them appearing over there.
Lovely monies.
There we go, and now that the logs are in the pond, the sawmill should be producing some more as we've just taken a load, so it has space to store some product. As you can see, the log count there is now going down. So sawmill is currently producing. Meanwhile, let's take our full load back to the freight depot. So points ahead are all clear.
All clear. Moving out.
She's a little slower to get started now that she's got a full load on the back, but 9 full wagons of logs and beams is quite a lot of weight. But Betsy seems to be a capable little engine, so...
For now, at least. There is more than a few mentions of her being nerfed in the near future. So we'll have to see what happens after that.
Yes, unfortunately Betsy is a little overpowered at the moment, but it'll be a bit of a shame really when they finally nerf her, but it's understandable if they want to make the bigger and more powerful locos seem a bit more worthwhile in getting.
Yeah, I think the hard thing is going to be getting the balance right between it being a useful first loco for everyone and it not being so overpowered that kind of pointless buying some of the others.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, like I said earlier, we are carrying 9 wagons at the moment. I think that's probably a little bit too much than was intended for Betsy. But we'll see what the devs do.
Fortunately on my screen we've got the annoying flickering of the bell going on. Hopefully that's something they can fix at a later date. Seems to be just dependent on where you're looking at the time of jumping on the loco.
If I can position myself just about here and pull on this bit of string, I can ring your bell for you. And that's one of the cool things I really like about this game. The controls can be used in first person as well as in driver mode. So even though Nick is currently in driver mode, I can still do things like sound his whistle and pull his bell.
Indeed. If there is enough room, you can even load the fire for me.
I could indeed. In fact, do you need some logs in there at the moment? Well, probably not, as we're about to arrive at the station anyway. So.
We seem to have timed it just nicely. 2 fuel now, 1.9. So, just about right on the fuel for that run. Give a bit of bell ringing as we approach the yard. One advantage we have of being a 2-man crew is A, we can unload twice as fast, and B, I haven't got to try and sight it all myself.
Indeed, I can tell you when the rear wagon has entered the platform from back here. And if I join your company by using the tab menu, then theoretically when I unload it, the money for the delivery should go to you, which you'll then be able to spend on a nice new locomotive. So let's unload some wagons then.
Yep. And if you're looking on my screen, you can indeed see the funds going up. Now, I will mention on this bit of track work, it isn't perfectly straight. And that wasn't really by design, but I've laid that about 6 times now. When I originally laid this track, it was too close and the loads as I tried to unload were catching on the roof and just bouncing back into the wagons. So I moved it out of it, tried again, moved it out of it, and yes, late last night I finally got some track in that worked, And so yes, we've left it there for now. May not be straight, but it's functional.
There's a lot of trial and error in laying the track work. In fact, that reminds me of a certain other game. Although, admittedly, when I played that one, it was more error than trial for me, but each player's different, I guess. Okay, 1 wagon length.
1 wagon.
1/2, 1/4, and you're there.
And we're there.
And that is train unloaded.
Okay.
Okay, shall we run around the locomotive?
Yep. Got some brakes on now.
Want to put handbrakes on the rear wagon, I guess. It's a habit that I've really been trying to get myself into a lot. Every time I leave wagons behind, got to put the handbrake on just to make sure they don't roll away.
Yeah, I did read on the Discord of one person who wondered why, after setting just one handbrake, his train of 20 wagons next time he loaded in had all run away.
Oh dear, just the one handbrake.
Yep. He didn't say whether it's on the front or rear either, but regardless, one handbrake for 20 wagons is not sufficient.
No. One handbrake is probably sufficient for about 5, I think. If they're empty and on fairly level track. But for anything more than 5, I will. I get myself into the habit of putting the handbrakes on the front and rear wagons. Above 10, I'll probably stick one in the middle as well.
Yeah, I've been even stricter than that. I've been going on a ratio of 1 handbrake to 3 wagons. Just to be on the safe side. So as you can see now, we're using the in-cab controls rather than the F menu. And annoyingly, you can't see out of the loco very well. Unless you kind of do a fake looking out the window effect.
It is better on some of the larger locos. Admittedly, Pt3 is a little on the small side. Okay, I have set the point at the other end, so should be able to go all the way back.
Reverse it, set.
Hitch a ride on the back. What are you doing first person?
Indeed. And if you are watching Killercan's screen, he'll be able to show you now that whilst I am using the controls for the train, he can load the fire simultaneously without it affecting each other. And there you go, on my screen you see the fire roar out. Nice bright glow.
I can't quite get to the fire door anymore, you're standing in front of it.
Let's just take
there we
a step
go.
back.
That's got it.
And let's give it a bit more power now. We'll shake, rattle and roll down this straight track.
Now for people watching my stream, there is a bit of a visual glitch here for the client side.
Maybe ease off a little bit.
There is in fact track there, even though it doesn't look like there is, but unfortunately that is a known bug. but on Nick's screen the track there was just fine. It's only missing online. And since Nick is the host, didn't have any problems running over that. And hi Bryson, welcome back to the channel. We are currently recording for Nick's YouTube series. Although recording will probably finish in a few minutes, as he tends to do just half-hour videos.
Maybe a slight incline here, so we'll give it a little more power. And we seem to have lost our conductor.
Well, I thought we were going back onto the train. Are we buying more wagons?
Not just yet. We were going to take a run with the cordwood, weren't we?
Oh, of course, yes. And the cordwood are on the other platform, aren't they? So,
indeed.
So this point here is the one we need to change.
Got a bit of braking action.
Okay, and then I believe that one as well. That's already in the right direction. Okay, you should be clear into the shorter platform.
All clear, moving forward.
Just going to hitch a ride on the front of the loco.
Just warm your ankles for you.
Very nice. By the way, devs, smooth out this roof. Get some smoothing groups on those faces, seriously.
We are really rock and rolling on my screen. Promise the track is straight.
Okay, so we're coming up to the wagons now. Let's just check couplings. Oh. Can you back up a little bit just so I can get the coupling sorted out?
Oh. Oh. Right. Pull that. That's it. Is that enough, or just need a little more?
That's fine. Okay, there we go. So I've got the Lincoln pin on the front of Betsy. There definitely isn't any on the wagon, so if you can pull forward again, and then we can connect up the wagons. And the wagons are connected.
Excellent.
That handbrake is now off. And so is that one. Okay, all our handbrakes are off, and I believe we are all connected. So we have now just connected to 3 Tier 3 flat wagons, and these are for carrying cordwood. And later in the game I believe they also carry oil barrels.
Yeah, probably a couple of months away from that at our current rate.
True, probably a little way away before we get there, but for now though we can haul cordwood with this. We'll just take these up to the logging camp and we can go from there. That will require us to switch over onto the left-hand lane on the main line, just coming out of the fuel depot. So, freight depot.
Yeah, I'll just get us around the corner and I'll apply the brakes.
Shall need to use that crossover over there.
I really have to give a shout out to your lordship on Discord for showing me how to make such a nice looking crossover. Certainly not something I could have worked out on my own.
There you go, point switched, and you are clear.
Switch. Coming through. Should be able to get a good amount of speed up with only 3 wagons.
We should indeed. And while, yes, it does look a little bit silly with me just riding along on the wagons, unfortunately we don't really have a lot else that I can ride on at the moment. There is a caboose on the way that the devs have been showing off in the Discord, and I'm quite looking forward to that. So, you know, we could have a caboose on the back and then conductor can ride in that instead.
Yeah, have we got an ETA on that yet, or still unconfirmed?
Still unconfirmed, but the model itself looks to be complete. Last time they were showing it off, so...
So it's all the fun of unwrapping, texturing, testing, and...
I believe they are indeed working on the texture, and then it'll be the coding stage. But hopefully it shouldn't take too long.
If anyone knows how long it takes to get some rolling stock into a game, it will of course be yourself.
Yes, all that experience of modding Transport Fever. And all those years, because, well, my modding career started out, must have been 2015-ish, I think, when I actually started out with Train Fever.
Wow, so yes, certainly going back some time. Alright, if we look to our left, we can see the remains of the old route. All that's left now is a small section of foundation and a bridge.
I see we've double tracked with the line coming out of the other end of the sawmill.
Indeed, yes, that carries on out.
In fact, the line next to us, that was the line we used last week to bring logs down to the sawmill, wasn't it? So, but now we're on the new line.
Yes. And there has been a small change when we actually get to the logging camp. Nothing major, just some little changes here and there.
There's a new bridge here.
Oh yeah, so I couldn't resist the urge to build a double track bridge. Unfortunately we can't have it as a full double track bridge, but it's as close as we can get for now.
Right, let's see, we've got some points here, so we are heading around to the cordwood side, don't we? So these both want to be set to the left, which they are. And the point that I was running forward for no longer exists because that was the one off the old line, which is gone now, I believe.
Yep, just some old groundworks, that's all that remains.
Okay, so you are clear to come into the cordwood side. We also have fuel and a water tower here if Betsy needs a top up.
We're actually okay on water at the moment, but it won't hurt to top up on the firewood whilst we're here. Unfortunately, we don't have a runaround on this side yet, so we are going to have to propel our train forwards.
It's something we're going to need to work on doing, is getting a runaround loop here, because it is not really ideal to push full freight wagons. But for the time being we should be okay, as we only have 3 wagons. But as the trains get longer, we certainly will need to have a way of getting the locos around to the other end of the train.
Bit more, I believe.
About there should do.
Okay.
Due to the spacing between the cranes, they're going to load the first and last wagon. We will have to load the middle wagon separately.
Once that's been loaded up, we will go and grab ourselves some firewood. And luckily we don't have to run as far this time as we did last week.
This will take a little bit longer to load up these wagons than previous ones. The most that the tier 1 log wagons took was 6 logs, and the tier 2s that we pulled earlier on tonight, they were 6 lumbers. However, these wagons are taking 8 cordwoods.
Deck 5 just for fun. So our cabin is now full, and once we've finished loading we'll put 5 into the firebox.
Just need 1 more bundle on each, and then we'll need to start loading the middle wagon. That is the front and rear wagon filled up, so up to you. Forward or backwards, 1 car length please.
Okay, 1 car length.
Half a car. 1/4. And that should do.
Okay, brakes are on. Get a nice vantage point. See killer cams at work.
I wish I could say that this was all manual labour to load up these wagons, but in all fairness, the crane's doing most of the heavy lifting for me. So.
And as I look behind us, anyone who caught the original live stream will remember those logs. There's a place that Killer Cams got rather stuck.
Yes, that happened during the live stream, I believe. Got trapped in between the logs and had to respawn, which sent me all the way back to the freight depot. The downside of doing that is the one and only train we had was up here already, so I kind of had to walk back. One last bundle. Here we go. And we are filled.
Excellent. Right, for the YouTube viewers, we are going to cut it here. Of course, for the live stream viewers, over on Twitch, we are going to continue for a bit longer. So, any final words from my co-host here?
Well, you've already said it. We are going to continue on the live stream for a little longer, and then we shall be continuing this again next week.
Indeed. So, for those watching the video on Friday evening, goodbye for now.
Cheerio.
Okay, and for those still here on the live stream, we are going to take these wagons down and unload.
Yeah. Should be a pretty clear run all the way back, although we should roll out on the water. Just thinking, I don't think we have a... Oh, we do have a water tower back at spawn, though, don't we? But it's not at the actual station.
We do. We're 339 at the minute, so we could probably get another couple of runs.
Oh, yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah, she's done quite well, bless her. Try not to take it too fast so you don't fall off the front of the train there.
I should be okay.
Luckily for you, I haven't built a roller coaster.
Yeah, this curve looks alright, actually. It's fine. On some of the other servers that I frequent, you tend to get some players who just throw track down and it's all over the place, you know.
Yeah, this has been kept to a nice 2% grade maximum. There are a couple of lumps here that I do want to come back and smooth out as we come onto the bridge. But other than that, yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah, for the most part, it's very smooth and quite well done.
Yeah, there's certainly some hours into it, I'll admit to that. Yeah, she's rolling away lovely now, just freewheeling down the hill.
I think we should probably leave the old bridge there and just, you know, have it part of the scenery.
Yeah. I'm kind of liking it sat there. It's a memento of the path I used to take. Kind of undivided, or kind of am divided rather, on what I'm going to do here, whether I eventually make it 2-track mainline and then have switches come off. The only objection I've got is I'm not a big fan of these sort of wire junctions in the middle of nowhere where you've got to come to a complete halt to check the point set to the right route. I think a lot of it's going to come down to how busy we get and whether we need double track running everywhere.
Unfortunately, it's kind of a thing that comes with the game, really. As routes get more and more complicated, you do end up with, you know, junctions in the middle of nowhere and things like that. It happens, and without a way to automatically change the points, then yeah, you find yourself having to stop to set the route halfway down the main line, you know.
Yeah, I guess one option eventually is to just make the logging camp a separate branch from the sawmill and then use the marshalling yard that will eventually be there to break up and build trains.
Yeah, that's definitely a way to do it. I quite like the idea that was posted up on the ideas board on their official Discord, that there's the option for a player to like enter into a dispatcher mode where he literally becomes a signaller
Oh yeah,
And,
that.
yeah, he sort of has like a screen which is basically like a map of the world, and he can switch the points anywhere and sort of control where trains go from remotely.
Yeah, that certainly had a extra dimension to it.
I
The
think it's a nice
only,
idea, yeah.
yeah, the only issue against that really is the time frame we're kind of working in here in real life. There wouldn't be remote signaling and dispatching
True,
at that point.
that is true, but yeah, like you said, otherwise we're just stopping at junctions all the time to make sure the route's set. And you've got so many players that are trying to work around that because, you know, they want to have a clear run from A to B, you know?
Yeah, certainly if you've got a large load, you don't want to be bringing it to a halt and having to start up again. End up using a lot of fuel unnecessarily. Oh, you will have to just excuse me briefly. It sounds like my little one has woken up.
Ah, okay. Okay, so I've just had that glitch where the unload prompt isn't coming up for me right there, so I can't actually unload the wagon. But what I'm told is that if you run out of draw distance and then back in again, that should fix it. So if I run off into the tree line until those wagons disappear from view, like so, and then run back again.
And I am back.
Oh. Yeah, I was just saying to my viewers on Twitch, I was having an issue right there with the first wagon there wasn't giving me the unload prompt, which is a client-side error. But what I'm told is that if I run out of draw distance and back again, that should fix it. And yep, I do indeed get the unload toggle now, so there we go.
Ah, brilliant.
So there we are.
Indeed. And
do you think we should get a few more of these tier 3s?
yeah, we could.
There is a little bit of loose change on my character, which we could spend on wagons. Although I'm still level 1, actually. Okay, scrap that idea.
How much are they? 275. Right. Yeah, we can grab some more. What we will do whilst we're here, though, is we're also going to grab us a new loco.
Ooh. Oh, you've just gone up to level 6.
Ooh.
You were level 5 when we were doing the freight runs earlier. And you've got up to level 6 with that delivery.
I hadn't noticed that. Right. So, what I do? Yep. Train's got a name. Hit.
Ooh. It's a Porter Mark II.
Check
and
my
Lilia.
Yep, named after my youngest daughter.
Oh. Loco number 2.
Right, 941. That should get us 3 more wagons at least.
Oh, the lamp on front was an option, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
Yeah.
EWNR. Not TWN $. for order. I wish it wouldn't throw you out the menu as soon as you buy something. We want to be able to buy more. 405. And as I do this, I realise I am actually locking in that loco.
Well, we can use Betsy to free Lilia, but Lilia needs to get up to temperature first.
Order.
Because as with all locomotives, when you buy them brand new, she has no boiler pressure whatsoever, so it's going to take a while before Lilia moves anyway.
And that is me down to $116 again.
Ooh. Come on, have a look at this. There was something that I noticed when I was messing around with someone else's loco while they were driving. Here we go.
Oh wow, you can open up.
It has a little door on the front.
Have you extinguished it? It's certainly gone out on my screen.
Oh, it's not gone out on my screen. I'm probably having a client-side glitch. Hang on. Let's turn it back on. No, it's not going out on my screen.
And it's not come back on my screen. Oh, there we go. Relit.
Ah, now it's gone off on my screen. There we go. But yeah, it's the light bulb on the front there has a little door on it. I only found that out like 2 days ago. Oh, it's got one on the back as well.
I see. Yeah, we could really make this accurate by extinguishing a light if we're pulling the train. So of course you wouldn't need.
Yeah, it wouldn't need one on the back, would it?
No. And likewise, if we're pulling the train backwards, we can extinguish the front and light the rear.
Nice.
I would start singing now, relight my fire, but I don't have a very good singing voice, so I'll refrain from that.
Well, looks like Lilia is up to temperature. I can see the pressure gauge is going up.
Excellent. Unfortunately, I took out the original runaround loop. Otherwise, we'd have been able to use Lilia to shunt that first wagon forward, run around, grab the other two, and bring them down.
Oh, yeah.
Just put a brake on that one. Remove that pin. Jump on that.
There you go. I've just put linking pins on these wagons, so.
Excellent. Whilst I'm reversing, I'm having fun ideas. We can, of course, at the moment, top and tail.
We can, now that we have two logos, yes.
Put that switch, And whilst I'm here, one error that I've missed. There's no groundwork support in the switch stand. I'll pop that in. Even though there's no groundwork support in this track right here.
Okay, let's just check switches over here. Yep, those are set.
Right, coming forward to you now.
And so is that one. Yep, should be all clear to go and free Lilia. Thing is, now I have to get used to saying Lilia with an L on the front. There's a show that I'm currently watching where one of the characters is called Ilya, doesn't have the first L.
Alright.
So if I accidentally called her Ilya, then I apologise.
Well, recently she was very Ilya.
Oh dear. Right, that wagon is connected, and brake is off, I believe.
Excellent.
There you go, and now you are routed onto the other two wagons.
Coming forward. Due to my graphics settings, it currently looks like Lilia sending me Morse code with the light.
Oh. Getting some light flickering, eh?
Just a little bit.
And that one's connected. And handbrake off. Last wagon also connected, handbrake off, and
Excellent.
theoretically I should be able to just follow you out.
I was actually thinking, do you want to head out first, and then if you go past the point work,
Ooh, we could double
I'll
header.
follow you out. I was actually thinking I can attach these wagons, then run around and join on the rear, and you can back down onto the front.
Ah.
Okay, points are set for you to come out. Long dash back to Betsy now.
Yeah, these are lovely little locos, the Mark II porters. I mean, it sounds strange, but that extra axle on the back just makes all the difference with stability. It really does. Because, yeah, this loco doesn't wobble about nearly as much as Betsy does.
Now, I have been looking down at track level, and I have to say, if this was a 00 gauge model, I'd be getting the back-to-back gauge out on Betsy. The wheel flanges are a bit loose against the tracks.
In all fairness, they are a little bit loose on this one as well, but like I said, because it's a 6-wheeler rather than a 4, it's just that bit more stable.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, the Porter Mark II is a 042, whereas Betsy's an 040, so...
Indeed. No drive to that rear axle.
Yeah, the rear axle is not connected to the drive rods at all, so technically it is a independent. And in fact, looking at the model underneath it, it's also articulated, so I didn't actually know that.
Yes, I have seen a... Okay, we'll ignore that truck looking like it's not lined up with the track. So no, that is in fact a visual error, and the truck is still on the rails. Yes, I have seen a few images of the A42 Porter upside down, and yes, it is a articulated axle.
I have to admit, I wasn't actually aware it was articulated. I thought it was fixed. There you go, learn new things every day.
Yeah, I think you might just be able to make out where the pivot point is underneath. About in line with the rear of the centre wheels.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it on my stream right now, and we can quite clearly see where it's hooked up, so, yeah.
If you want to hold about there for now. Actually, have you got a link on the rear of Lilia, or?
I haven't done that yet, I don't think. I can put a link and pin on here.
Yep. So I'll be taking the link with me. I've left it a bit short, so yeah, you will have to join the two halves together. I'll reverse up so we can run round. Oh, that's not a good view. I tried going driving mode and I had the track highlighting as well as the controls.
Oh.
I'll get onto the run around loop, and then you can set it back straight and back down onto your train.
I'm not sure how the point's out on the other side of the loop. It might be against you, so...
Yeah, so we'll have to go and change that.
Yeah, I'll go back Ilya onto the train. Sorry, Lilia, not Ilya. I knew that was going to happen. I knew it.
It's off to a full start. Check how the rear of the train's set up. No coupling, excellent. I've got no link. Oh, looks like we are actually set for the runaround loop at this end.
Ah, interesting. I just caught this half of the train, by the way. They started rolling away. It's alright, I got them. There we go.
Yeah, this is gonna go as a fun dynamic for next week's video. Top and tailing. Of course, people who have stayed here for the live stream get to see it ahead of time.
I haven't actually tried proper top and tailing before, so I'm not entirely sure how well this is going to work as far as the physics go. But it's the first time for everything, I guess, so we'll see how this goes. Right, Lilia is now collected, and all the handbrakes are off, so just need to get Betsy on the other end.
A little bit more power.
And connected.
Excellent. So in theory, if I drop my brake off, disengage from my loco, I'll go and check, make sure the route is definitely set ahead.
I shall put some more logs on the fire. Because Lilia will need to be up to temperature if we are going to haul this run.
So first point is set, second point is set. Third, fourth, and fifth points are all set. Let the experimentation commence.
Well, I gave it a try, but I think Betsy's brakes has come back on.
Ah, yes. I'm guessing what we're going to have to do is, because I would have been in the F menu when I released the brakes, as soon as you get out, it reapplies them. So heading back over to the train now. Right. Okay, brakes re-released.
Give us a toot on the whistle to let us know that you're ready. And off we go.
It is a success. Let's open the window so we can lean out. Until we realise that we're standing on the platform and left behind.
Oh, oops. Right, now Lilia is using half a regulator to maintain the speed, which is a bit more than I was expecting actually. I'm just going to do a quick check to see if we are freewheeling at the moment. If we take the power off, do we slow down? No, not really. I don't think we have handbrake on still, so...
Making a heroic dash along the train to double check. Handbrakes are all off. I'm guessing it's just the additional weight then of Betsy.
Oh, possibly, yeah. In fact, we've got a loco on the back.
Yep, so Betsy is completely dead in tow. Makes me curious as to what would happen if we attempted to push.
Are you going to apply some throttle as well? I am at 50% at this point.
At the moment, it seems that I didn't get the firewood in correctly.
Oh, and we are suddenly slowing down. I think Betsy's brake went on again.
It did. Unfortunately, I went into the F menu and then came out. What we'll do is give it 27% throttle. See what difference that makes.
That seems to make a bit of difference. The link couplings between the wagons don't seem to be fully stretched at this point, so... I mean, there is still tension there, but, you know, it's not, like, fully stretched out.
Yeah. Give it up to 39%.
If anything, I think we're going a little faster now.
Yes. Certainly compressed the coupling at my end. Guessing the big thing's going to be, of course, gradually reducing power at the far end. So if I just cut all power, it could snap a coupling.
Yeah, we'll need to be careful about that. And likewise, because I've now got a loco on the back, I don't want to hit the brakes too hard either, otherwise that's going to create something of an accordion effect, isn't it? So.
Oh, yeah. But just like the real world, this does require some communication between the two drivers.
It does indeed. So. I give one peep of the whistle to say that we are approaching destination and to come off the power, and then when I give 2 whistles that means I'm going to start braking.
Okay. 1 to cut off power, 2 to start braking. Okay, off the power now. And applying brakes.
There we go. It's probably a little late on the brakes, but that went well.
I'd call the first experiment of top and tailing a success.
And the main thing I was worrying about there was that the accordion effect might cause the wagons in the middle to sort of buckle up and derail, but no, they didn't do that, so we stopped fine.
Oh, look at that. Even got the cranes in
Oh.
synchronization.
Oh, did you see what happened to that one?
Oh, did it bounce and...
Yeah, we haven't quite got these wagons lined up. Look what happens to this. Oh no, that one did load. Yeah, the first one just rolled off the back.
I think what we may have to do is move this track out a bit further then. Just so the crane sort of lines up more with the centre. Got a bit of wagon movement as they load. Actually, as I load this, it just gave me a thought from what Kev said last week, in that they bow more as the train travels along. I wonder if we can do a comparison between loaded with logs, loaded with cordwood, and the timber and planks.
That's an interesting thought. Which one weighs the heaviest? Yeah. Because I can see that this car is bowing slightly, but not as much as the log ones did.
Yeah, which is surprising actually, because obviously this is more densely packed.
Yeah, it is bowing just a little bit.
Yeah. Good question is now, forward or backwards?
Oh, well, either, I guess.
And who's forward and who's backwards?
That is also a good question. Who's forward and who's backwards? Well, Betsy's probably got her brake on at this stage, I believe.
Yes, 1 second. I'll just go and release that. Right, brake released.
Right, can we get in that nice position again where we were loading the two wagons next to each other?
About half a car length. Quarter, 1 truck, and about there. See what happens.
Ah.
Just managing to catch the hitbox. What we'll do is put Betsy's brake back on though, so it doesn't keep rocking back and forth.
And then on the trip back, you shall be driving, so...
Indeed.
I will need to obey your whistle commands. There's 1 toot for coming off the power and 2 for applying the brakes.
Indeed. And for anyone looking to make some quick and easy money, it will work a bit differently now that they've changed how the firewood depots work. But if you get to a tier 3, you can buy yourself one of these wagons, park it here at this crane, put your firewood depot on the other side, throw all your firewood out into the ether and load and unload to your heart's content.
Yes, it was a little bit of a quick money glitch, that one, but they haven't actually patched that one out. It's still possible to do that, so...
Thing is, of course, there is no way of really patching it out unless they were to place another building here to prevent you putting a firewood depot there.
Or create some kind of rule that a firewood depot isn't allowed to be so close to logging camp. I don't know.
Yeah, possibly.
Alright, so I will give you 2 toots to let you know that the brakes are off.
There's our 2 toots. Oh, seems we're going to have to give it a bit more power than that. Okay, what we may need to do then is just compress the train. There we go.
There we go. I was about to say, do you want me to push? But that's fine. Okay, 2 car lengths.
2 car lengths.
1.
1.
A half.
Half.
And about there.
About there.
Quickly grab some firewood while I'm here.
check Betsy before we pull out. Of curiosity, how is Lilia for water usage? Is it pretty much the same as Betsy, or?
It is pretty much exactly the same, yes. She has a 500 capacity of water, and usage rate is about the same. Lilia does carry more firewood, though, a lot more. Because she does have this little bunker at the back, so she's got more than twice the amount of firewood in here, actually.
Yeah, so it seems then the range is limited by the water rather than with Betsy. It's more a case of firewood rather than running out of water.
Yep. Yeah, this is definitely the thing with the Mark II porters. They absolutely do run out of water before they run out of firewood. Alright, so these wagons are full.
Okay. Give it some power. Pull the... well, hopefully pull the truck back onto the rails.
Oh, does it look like it's come off again on your side?
Yeah, visually it's sort of bumbling around. There we go.
Yeah, it's a bit of a visual glitch.
We have a look out. Just see Lilia coming around the curve behind us.
Let me know when you want me to put some power on.
Yep, I've gone about 16% on the power, because of course we have got the downhill gradient to help.
Okay, I'll go about 10 or 11.
Yes. Certainly coming down here quicker than I have ever done before.
Oh dear, pardon me. Yeah, the power of 2 porters.
Actually lends an interesting dynamic when we get into the bigger locos, whether you can use a porter to assist the Heisler, for example, for a bit of extra speed.
That's an interesting thought. Especially when you consider how slow the Heislers are. I mean, the Heislers are quite strong locos, but they do lack speed. They're more designed to pull the really heavy loads uphill, though, so...
Yeah, I think we may have to build a line on more than a 2% gradient just to take advantage of those locos. Although I did see an interesting one on the Discord where someone had built a lower yard for, I believe it was the iron mine, whereby they use sort of the faster locos to bring trains into the yard and then use the Heisler to take it up a steeper grade on the final stretch into the mine.
That would make sense. One of the servers that I'm on at the moment has a main line going all the way from the coal mine back to the smelter. And they are running hyzers through the entire length of it, which must be a really slow process.
Yeah. Ideal if you're just casually running trains, but yeah, wouldn't make for a great ops video. It'd be rather long.
I still haven't actually run on that route yet, admittedly. I just use my class 70 that I've got on that server to run freight from the smelter to other parts of the world. But I haven't actually been on the main line up to the coal mine yet, so I should get around to doing that at some point.
Just approaching the point work now. We're okay to keep the power on for a little bit longer. Okay.
Do it in acknowledgement.
Looks like we're gonna roll nicely into the freight depot.
And we're there.
Or 6 wagons being perfect to fit in this side.
Possibly just about. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, that might actually. It's right in the middle. But theoretically, if the cordwood hits platform, it should sell. Yeah, like I said, that unloads right in the middle, so...
What I could say is, let's give it a go and see what happens.
Let's throw one off, see what happens.
Yep, that's
oh no,
counting.
They are selling. There we go. So that does fit. There we go.
We're up to a nice healthy 596 again.
Excellent. Okay, so should we do another one of those runs, or are we going to do some building somewhere? It's up to you, really.
Well, my fire is actually dead, so yeah, let's go. Scope out something. Although I have realised it's actually 10 to 10 already, so...
Oh, it is, isn't it? Yeah. We've been streaming for 1 hour and 40 already. Blimey. Yeah, maybe if we ran it back up to the logging camp, That would probably be a good point to end it, really.
Yep.
Right, so let's just throw a load of firewood in. Yeah, that should get us there. And forward.
And reverse.
And away we go. Got some good signalling going on there.
We are away. Realised that, yeah, the pressure had actually dropped quite a bit.
Well, we should be alright going back up again. I've been keeping Ilya up to temperature, so got plenty of pressure on this end. And I called her Ilya again, didn't I?
Actually missed that
Ilya.
one. I may have to let Lilia do a bit of the grunt work for a little while, just while I rebuild my pressure. Oh, there we go. Now it's climbing. But you have to get the water temperature up before the pressure will build.
Yeah, the bit that takes a bit of practice is being able to keep an eye on the fire temperature and the water temperature and timing it right so that you throw the logs in just before the water starts cooling down.
Yes, very enjoyable driving using the cab controls, but of course you don't have the information screen.
No, you don't have the information on
you
there.
only
No.
have one gauge. Should be able to assist with the pushing now.
Okay, I'm currently running on 50% throttle, so
Okay. I'll aim for about 40 then.
oh, what a lovely noise that is, chuffing coming from both ends of the train. That's the sound of power right there, that is.
Hopefully one day we can create a mega lash up of 4 locos.
Four locos are going to take quite a lot of coordinating, really, isn't it? We're going to need a driver in each one that knows what the commands are for.
Yep, I'm imagining 10% grade, 4 Heislers, and a nice heavy train.
And I have overrun it again, but there we are. Once again arrived safely, so there we go. But then again, I would rather gentle brake and overrun slightly than to slam on the brakes and have the middle wagons come flying up in the air. But there we go.
I did notice a bit of a jump, but I think it... it's due to the track work here.
There is a little bit of a jump in the track work there, but that shouldn't be too much to sort out. In fact, there's another one there as well.
Yeah, something we can smooth out at the weekend.
That should be no problem at all. Alright, so I think this would be a good point to call it for the night. We are just coming up to 10 o'clock in the evening, so... to anyone who's been watching on Twitch, this has been Railroads Online, and we've been recording with Trains with Nick. And we should see the video coming up on YouTube on Friday.
Indeed.
And of course, we will be recording again next Wednesday and possibly over the weekend as well. We're going to be aiming for Saturday, so keep your eyes open for that as well. Right, so thank you all very much for watching, and we will see you again soon. Cheerio.
Bye.